Good morning, early morning walk along Bridlington Harbour. Come on, dog. Bobby checking out the local wildlife, and up a bit later this morning, but didn't stop us just getting out for a few hours. I just want to look back at those amusements there. You've got Flamborough Head in the distance, but back in 1967, a then young man who still lives in Bridlington worked at those amusements. He's 16 years old, he's just left school. His first job. And out on the horizon he can see an almost transparent disc. But it's different. You might picture a camera lens, and it's on the horizon. And a few other people got to know about it, who worked in the amusements, and they watched it. They watched it for hours and hours, never seemed to move. And don't think they brought it to the attention of many people, and I found out about it years and years later. But that's 1967. So, and here we go. You might be able to see the wind turbines in the distance there. And you've got South Beach there. I can just see two people on South Beach. That's, meant to hold this dog lead, that's where the whale beached back in 2023. Almost there now. Fair walk up beach to find this, but it's created enough interest that other people have found it. The fin whale that I walked down and had a look at, that's the spar. Or a bit of a weather phenomena going on, but nothing nothing too untoward. Look at this, it says no fishing now. Everything's getting stopped. So, a strange lens type, what do you call it? Is it a UFO? Or is it just some kind of, I don't know, weather phenomena? It could be. We do know there's a lot more to these things that are seen than pure natural phenomena. You know, I always laugh when people talk about the earth lights and say that's what you're looking at out over the sea. But a few things have flagged up just of late, and I'm no scientist, that have kind of told me that there's a lot more going off with these lights than just weather phenomena. I mean, the lifeboats don't launch from Bridlington, Hornsey, Scarborough, Whitby to reports of orange lights over the sea if it's weather phenomena, do they? And they're in every lifeboat log going back decades and decades and decades, and you'll see it written down, false alarm with good intent. What does that mean? We've just launched the lifeboat, sometimes in really, really terrible sea conditions, to a suspected boat in distress, or perhaps an aircraft that potentially could have come down. We know that it's a genuine report, else we wouldn't have launched the lifeboat, but we'll call it false alarm with good intent because there's nothing to be found. It's not good enough really, is it? Something a little bit more than weather phenomena. So we'll move on a little bit. Come on, Bob. I don't think he wants to follow them, do you? Not over there. Look at that. Bob's not too sure about her. Bronze statue. In this day and age, I think people looking at it, or some people looking at it, would not admire it as a work of art. They'd be looking to see if they could weigh it in. Sad state of affairs, isn't it? Bob likes to check out the local architecture and local works of art. Look, might get a little statue made of Bob one day, you never know. I've just continued walking along the harbour, but I thought I'd come down here. This is not exactly paranormal or strange, but just look at this. Huge old rusting girders. I think like everything in this country, everything that was made and created decades ago, it's in need of a desperate upgrade. But nothing seems to last now the way it did in years gone by. Everything seems to be made to be replaced fairly quickly to make more money. Let's just walk down here, Bob. It's still very early. We'll just walk down here. Don't worry, Bob, we're not going in. There's the mouth of the harbour. This is where the RAF marine launches would have been based and would have left from in 1970, when Lighting XS894 disappeared off Flamborough Head in very mysterious circumstances. Come on, we will cover that one, but it's something to cover in great detail. Let's keep finding information about that, and still think there's a little bit more to it and a little bit more to be unearthed in due course. What's this? The pirate ship. I've restarted filming again because of that dredger there in Harbour, the Gypsy Race. That's aptly named because we'll walk down there. I was going to go home, but we'll walk down because I just want to show you where the Gypsy Race kind of ends its life before it enters the sea. We'll just see if we can do a little silhouette of the Gansey girl as she sits silently on the harbour overlooking the sea. Such a shame that all these little seaside towns are struggling to make a living. They've all become fast money and fast food, which is not a great way to go, is it? Because nothing lasts forever, unlike this harbour that's been here hundreds of years. So many things that have links to the strange and the unknown. still to see after 50 years. Just there is the Imperialist. That is the very same boat that over 50 years ago was below Crab Rocks at Bempton, hauling crab pots when the sphere of light appeared over their heads. So we'll just have a look at the Imperialist as we walk along Bridlington Harbour early in the morning. Ever wondered how they get the boats out of the water in this little harbour to repair them and to do work on them? Well, that's how. Look at these fishing cobbles. Brilliant. Would you fancy going out to sea in one of them? I wouldn't. What these brave men do. And there's the Imperialist, the boat in question. That's the boat, or the cobble, back in I think it was 67. It was below Crab Rocks, hauling crab pots. Hold on, Bob, don't be doing that. 3 men in it. Reflection of a sphere of light, probably not much smaller or bigger than that white buoy there in the water. They look up and it's just above their heads. I wonder how many people know about the story of the Imperialist. Probably not many now, and I were fortunate enough to receive that account from 2 of the fishermen that were alive to tell the tale. So there we go. Let's just have a look at this. Might as well walk along here. It's a hybrid of a talk this morning where we're covering lots and lots of little bits of information, nothing in any great detail. So if you're watching this and thinking, well, it's kind of interesting, but I'd like to have known more about the Imperialist, or I would have liked to have known more about the lens that was seen over the sea, I think back in 1967, put it in comments or send me an email and we'll do one in a lot more detail. It's easy. I want to cover St. John of Bridlington. I was at Bridlington Priory hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and St. John of Bridlington had many miracles attributed to him during his lifetime. But it's also said that there were tunnels from the Priory to Bridlington Harbour. And tunnels and passageways have been found over the years when people have been doing excavations for building work, repairing drainage, and they've been covered up. You know, the council or officials have found them and they've been covered up. Whether there's some great mystery, there was once said to be a huge gold cross in Bridlington Priory. And then during the Reformation, when all of the antiquities were stolen, smashed up, looted and plundered, the cross was said to be hidden. I wonder if that's true. If it is, then there's a large quantity of gold hidden underground somewhere at Bridlington. I think they said that the shrine of St. John of Bridlington was dragged out into the marketplace and smashed, and the jewels that encrusted it obviously stolen and plundered. Has anything changed? We're still as barbaric today as what we were then. But anyway, we're more paranormal than history, but we've just mixed a little bit of everything into this one. And don't forget, if you like what we're talking about, feel free, press the like and subscribe button. Costs absolutely nothing and it just supports us a little bit. Before we leave this morning, just one more short story that I might expand at some point in the future. But there, in the distance, is Ebor Flats. And there's a lady who lives in the flats who's contacted me many, many times over the years to say that she's seen orange spheres of light over the sea. What an incredible vantage point from the heart of town. Absolutely brilliant. We'll just have another pan round at these buildings and just stop at the flats there. That's the ones. Spheres of light seen from Ebor Flats. So if you live in Ebor Flats and you have seen these unusual lights and you want to contact me, feel free to do so, because I know that you'll not be the only one. Look at it, it's absolutely built up and chocker with properties all built on top of one another and extensions on top of extensions. I would think it's a planning and architectural nightmare. But we never did get to see where the gypsy race came out into the sea, but that can wait for another time. So if you like what we're doing, just press like and subscribe. Costs nothing to do so, and we'll end it there. Thank you.